Hey, One Stop Co-op Shop fans, this is Mike, and today we're looking at a dungeon crawler with some pretty unique mechanics, Perdition's Mouth Abyssal Rift. Specifically, the version I'm playing with is the revised edition, and this is a review copy that was sent to me by the publisher. And just to note, the revised edition is pretty new. The original game, I think, came out about 2 years ago, and they are currently in play testing for, I'm not sure if it's an expansion or a standalone. I think it's standalone, but a few people in the Slack have already talked about playing the expansion, and yeah, I'm looking forward to more content from this. If you want to hear my thoughts on the game, please check out my review video. But today we're going to show you a scenario kind of in the middle of this fantasy kind of dark campaign game, and to show you how the game plays. So this is, as you see in the number 5 on the map, this is the 5th scenario in the campaign. And it branches a little bit in that you will see sort of different things or different placements or tougher setups, but you are playing on the same maps as you progress through, at least as far as I've gotten. So, like, the second mission will always be on the second map, the third mission will always be on the third map, but some things might be moved around. The setup for a mission and the special rules are entirely handled by these nice big cards. So here you'll see there's some special rules. In this case, the exit I have to go through is blocked by a nest, which is really too bad because every time you destroy a nest, it makes the sort of alien bug creatures you're fighting. You're kind of infiltrating this like cult of bug worshippers. It makes them even tougher. It makes them spawn more. So not happy I have to destroy a nest. They also tend to give you options for making the game harder. As you're going to see, the game is hard enough, so I'm not going to try that out. And then here we get into like the main setup rules. So they tell you where everything is with this grid-based system. So you'll see there's letters on the bottom and numbers on the side, and you can use those to kind of cross-reference and find where things go. And they also have the spawn pools. You got the primary spawn, the secondary spawn, and these are extra monsters that can show up in either one based on the cards you draw. In this case, how this all works out is I've got a couple of treasure chests. I've got a victim. This is, I think, only the second scenario I've seen these guys. I can save them, and it'll give me better cards in my deck. But if I don't save them and just kind of abandon them as I run away, then they get killed by the guys, and it puts these negative cards in the deck I draw for enemy stuff. So I want to try to get that guy if I can. Here we've got the place that acolytes are going to run to try to raise the alarm. Right now the only acolyte on the board is all the way up here, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm much more worried about these huge bugs and the 2 nests where more of them will be spawning. Now you can also see on the side here all the extra guys waiting to be spawned. So again, the primary and secondary pool, and then these people will be added separately. And in this one, they just instructed me to have, besides these 2 summoners, is like every extra insect creature I have. So there could be a bunch of people here. And generally speaking, the name of the game is trying to escape before too many things spawn. This is not a game where you just, I mean, you can sit around and try to kill everything, but it's not always a winning strategy. And this one definitely looks a lot tougher to do that. Now, in terms of hero setup, you can play with 3 to 5 heroes, or 2 with a variant. And things are pretty simple. Their health always starts at the top. And you'll see their statistics can change as their health gets lower. These are like the action points they have per turn, especially for movement, the range of their attack, how much life they have, their base attack stat, their base defense stat. Additionally, they've got special powers. So I have Niffle, kind of the thief in this case. He's got a range attack, and he can rest more easily than other characters. He's also equipped with a poisoned arrow. And each character has a starting hand size 5 for Niffle and a 7 max for him. So I start with 5 cards from my own personal deck of action cards here. And I'll be able to get more, and I'll also discard these. And this deck could contain wounds from previous missions. In this case, Niffle has avoided them, but the other characters do have some. Next we have Eliza, the elven wizard, or sorceress, basically. She can do big, like, area of effect fire attacks. She has a blink power that lets her teleport when she uses a special action. She has a little shard that gives her plus defense. It can be discarded to reduce the threat level, so fewer monsters spawn. I'm going to use that pretty much immediately, as you'll see when I show you the end of setup. And she's got her card, she's got a teleportation card, some nice combat bonus cards, and yeah, just a pretty good draw for her overall. Then my final character is Tyra. She's a human kind of berserker, raging fighter, and she's only got 4 cards, although she's got some ones that can help her. She can help other people, and they can help her, which is nice. She's got some boots that can be used to give her extra movement and points when she activates, although she might lose them. These are potentially multi-use, but could go away. And her big thing is she can go into a rage and basically move and attack way easier than anybody else. And she also has pretty decent distance on her attack and a pretty high attack value. And she's unique in that as she gets hurt, she gets higher attack because she's pissed off. And the final part of setup is getting the rondelles ready. If you haven't heard of the game, one of kind of the key design traits of it is that you have these rondelles for both the enemy and hero movement. I've randomized the 3 heroes. One starts in the move spoke, one starts in special, one starts in attack, and basically they'll be moving around, as you'll see very soon. And the enemies start with their things on this little bloody move space. But additionally, they've got a threat level, which is based on the map I'm on, the number of heroes in the game, and also in this case, because I'm playing the campaign, I've unfortunately let some cultists escape to raise an alarm, so it's a little bit higher than it should be. That means every time there's a spawn, it's going to spawn 3 enemies. And that's why, literally as one of my first actions, I'm going to use this, because with 1 point of rotation, which is what the Romandulus shard does if you discard it, I can get it down to 2 spawn instead of 3. So I like this item for its extra defense, but before we're sort of on our first turn, I'm definitely going to get rid of that. So as for the actual play of the game, you're going to activate 1 hero at a time, and you can choose whatever order players want to do that in. And the player will have this many points, and those are used to move around the rondelle. So, for example, Tyra here, for 1 point, she can move into the attack spoke. And it doesn't matter about the extra holes. That just means more characters could be there. And then for another point, sprint, 3, 4, 5. So she could go all the way up to the rest space or stop somewhere along the way to do one of the type of actions here. Whenever she lands on, that's what she'll perform. Now, additionally, characters can discard cards. Any card can be discarded for 1 extra point, but then also if they have the movement icon on her, which none of hers does, so not too helpful, they can be used for their numeric value to also give you more movement to go around the rondelle further. And any points you have left over can benefit you. So like if I only moved her 1 to the attack space, she could use her extra action points to boost her attack. But here that's not going to matter much because she's not even on the map yet. Now, once every character is activated, I would draw a response card from the deck. These are used to see if monsters defend against your attacks and also sometimes can boost your own actions. But additionally, they control the monster activation. And whatever number is shown, that's how far I'll move the little redstone. And then I'll activate every single space in between me and the redstone. So, it will control the monsters moving, attacking, spawning new ones, and you just go around and around with their rondelle and basically see what they do in response to your actions. So this kind of planned things out a bit. You can basically see all the key details in this map, at least so far here. So most squares are empty. They don't cost anything extra to move into, but these squares are blocked, and you will see little things like this. The number of dots is how many extra movement points it takes to move into. So this is 3 movement to get into. This is 2. So we got a lot of terrain because we're going to come down this ladder to start. The very first turn, we have to try to move in some way, and our first movement point will put us on that ladder. Our exit is, as previously noted, underneath a nest. So basically, if we do nothing else, we need to progress along here, get those guys out of the way somehow, kill that nest, and get out of dodge. But there are additional things to consider. We might want to try to get these treasures, because so far I only have an arrow and some boots since I got rid of my shard. We also, as previously mentioned, might want to try to save this victim and get him to the entrance in this case, because the default rescue spot is always the entrance. So, yeah, it's going to be tough getting over here, grabbing him, and coming back. But if I don't, then he dies. And again, that's going to mess up our response deck and make it tougher for the entire rest of the campaign. Now, you will note I have not mentioned killing monsters at all. This is a game that definitely gives you kind of options and how you resolve scenarios. And yeah, if you can rush to the exit and avoid the monsters, that's entirely okay in most of the missions. You don't really have to, like, kill everything. This is not a typical dungeon crawler in that way. Alright, so I guess we're going to activate Niffle first. He's got 8 activation points, so that's going to give him the best chance of kind of getting out of the way. And he's got some cards. Stealth lets him avoid being attacked by enemies if there's someone else they could attack. Pick Lock will give him an advantage to open treasure chests. That'll be useful. Backstab lets him do potentially a ton of damage if he attacks someone that is next to another hero. And then Thieves' Tools just boosts. So they show the icons of what they can boost. This can only boost a movement action or a special action, which you might see later. And finally, Find Weakness could be used for defense, for special, or for attack. So Niffle's got 8 points to move around, and then anything left can be used for the action that he chooses. He's over here, so he could do a special because that hole is full, which means he'll actually get to save paying for it. He would just pay 1 to get to attack because he skips over fully filled spokes. And he can't, by the way, stay on your same space. You do always have to move your token. So he could attack, but there's nobody to attack. He's not even on the board yet. Sprint lets him move with a response card added, so it can help you go really far. Defense won't work. Charge will let you move and then attack, but I don't think he can reach anybody. So yeah, pretty much he's going to want to sprint. So he'll go 1, 2, without, The other two are slower than Niffle, so I think I'll go all the way to charge and leave sprint open for them. So let's go 3, 4, and you do turn this inward to show that you've activated that hero for the turn. So this will give me 4 movement left, because remember I used 4 to go around the spokes, and he had 8, so 8 minus 4 is 4. And then if I'm in range, he has 1 to 4 range, I can attack. So Niffle pops up on the map for his first movement. Second, third, big thing in this game, all movement is orthogonal, so you cannot move diagonally, but range can be calculated diagonally. So I could attack someone here, and that would still count as adjacent with 1 range, but to move, I would have to go like that. So 1, 2, 3. To get into any of these, I would need an extra movement point. I could discard any card in my hand, even if it doesn't have the movement symbol. Any card can be discarded for 1 of any value of boosting. But in this case, I guess I'll just do the simple thing and move 1 more down. Although, I do want to get to that treasure chest, but I also want to get out of everybody's way. So, yeah, that's okay for now. Now, I am close to these little Rotika guys. They are the easiest to kill, and they have the least chance of hurting you, but they move ultra fast, so they'll probably be all over me potentially. This Bone Worm is super slow, and also pretty easy to kill. The Acolyte here, also pretty easy to kill. The big worry is this Chylene. This guy can do double attacks. He can push people out of the way. Has 3 life, so can take a bunch of actions to defeat. Yeah, and then more guys are going to be spawning. So that's my main concern at the moment. I think I'm going to have the other 2 sprint. So let's start with our melee fighter. So Tyra has 5 points, and she'll go 1, 2, leaving her with 3. And she's going to draw a response card. And I'm playing with the low variety deck. They do give you the option to shuffle in different cards into your deck to kind of tailor the randomness to your choice. So I don't think there are any minuses in here because of that. So it'll either give her 0 bonus or some extra movement to use. In this case, she got +2, which pays for how much she paid to go around. So she's going to get her base 5 and have 5 movement available. Sorry, I didn't actually show her character sheet, but here you go, the 5 points. And don't forget, she could use her boots to get +2 more. But what would happen is I'd have to draw a response card, and some of them have this little red symbol. Let's see if I can find it. Like that. And if I draw that when I use the item, then I lose it forever. So it is a kind of chance I'm taking whenever I use it. So another big concept besides the orthogonal movement is that nothing can go through a figure. Like you can't pass through your enemies or your friends, and that applies to the AI as well. So 1, 2, 3, I guess 4, 5. Tyra will kind of get out of the way, maybe get closer to that cultist to kill him, and certainly closer to the exit. Finally, Eliza, also not the fastest in the group, although she can teleport and really change up the game that way. But for now, she's got 5 actions. Let's just have her sprint as well. So she's already in attack, so it's only 1 of her 5 to go to sprint. And she's going to get a response card as well, which is +1. We ignore that symbol, by the way, except in very specific cases. So she's going to also have 5 movement to play with. But in this case, I think 3 will be enough. I don't see much reason to run up and out of the way. Alright, so that is the conclusion of a hero turn. I can rotate these all out for next turn. And now I'm going to draw a response card and move the AI track around that many. So they could activate up to 4 times with the deck I'm playing, or they might only activate a single time. So, very good for us in a lot of ways. This means that they do a single activation on the spoke they're currently on. Now, the bad thing about this is that they were not in range to attack me, so actually just moving 1 to attack would not have hurt me at all. But now they are going to move first and then be set up to attack, which means I'm going to have to deal with a bunch of these little swarming guys right away. So the AI has a few kind of steps to resolve to figure out what they want to do. But the core rule first is that all the insects do their stuff, and then all the cultists do their stuff. And you go from smallest to largest. So that means the Rotika are going to go first. Cultists do have to pay the same movement cost that we do, but insects do not. They can move freely. And you've got these nice big cards that show the statistics for the enemies. So you see the Rodica move 5 towards the nearest hero. They attack at range 1, have 1 life, get 1 base attack stat, and have 2 base defense. And then you can see how ridiculously tough the Chilene are compared to that. So I start with the enemy of that type. Again, we're starting with the smallest insect that is closest to a hero. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these guys are equally close. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And he'll just stop there because he can't get closer. So they can get into each other's way. Something to note. Okay, next is a bone worm. They move only a single space. So let's keep him up here to kind of get him out of our way. Then finally the Chilene, the really scary one, moves 3. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and have it be up on that pedestal for now. And then finally, Acolytes are kind of unique in that they just try to run and sound an alarm, which in this case would raise the threat level back up and spawn 3 guys every time a spawn comes up instead of 2. So they just move their 2 movement as directly as they can down toward the little escape point at the bottom of the map here. You can't quite see it where we're showing. So let's move 2 that way. And I definitely want to take care of him before he ever gets a chance to get down there. And a quick point of strategy, I could destroy not just this nest that I need to destroy to access the exit, but I could destroy this one too, and take away any chance for all these horrific alien monsters to spawn. But every time you do that, you raise the threat level for the rest of the campaign. So definitely a hard choice to make there. But the cultists can always come out, because you might see that there are these 2 little trap doors, and cultists can spawn next to those, and you can't destroy those anyway, so those will always be around. Now, looking at the situation as we go to the next turn, we've got a bunch of little guys forming us. That's the only real danger we have. One of them is in range to attack Niffle. And if we look at the enemy Rondel, we'll see that attack is the next thing, and then spawn, and then if they move a bunch, maybe moving and attacking again. But the key thing is, if I can either kill that guy right next to me or move out of the way, then he won't be able to do anything to me with this basic attack, because all those guys only have 1 range. So it seems like I probably want to have Niffle kill this guy. It'd be great if he can get out of the way too, and there is an action for that. Let's go and look at our choices. So you'll see over here is Rest, which gets you your cards back to your starting hand size. Because the thing is, as you use cards, you don't get to draw anymore. The only way you draw cards is with the move, attack, or defend action, which you see right here, or with the Rest action. And additionally, if you draw through your entire deck, you don't get to reshuffle the discard pile. You need to rest to do that. So eventually you need to rest to kind of restock your options. What I'm looking for is the one further on. Aim Shot is only available to ranged heroes like Niffle and Elisa the Wizard. Bash is only available to melee heroes like Tyra. So I'm going to go 1, 2 out of Niffle's 8. And even though it's upside down, this says that I get to attack at a free +1, and then I get 1 free movement afterwards, which I'm hoping will get Niffle out of the way of my other characters. So my base attack stat is 2, and I'm getting +1 from the Aim Shot, so that's 3. And then I can additionally boost it with my cards. But only if they have the attack icon. So I could do Find Weakness, which is +1 plus the result of a response card, so I could potentially get a whole bunch from that. Or I could Backstab if the monster was next to somebody else. That doesn't apply. Or I could use, again, any of these for +1, even if they don't have the correct symbol. Now, the Rodica have 2 defense, and the key thing is here you have to beat their total, and enemies get a free response card result, which tend to average to +2. So most likely I have to get at least a 5 on my attack to have a good chance of killing this guy. So with that being the case, let's go ahead and discard Find Weakness. That brings my attack from 2, +1 for the Aim Shot, +1 here, that's 4, plus whatever the response card is. Let's see what we get. And okay, we just got 1 more, so that is 5, gives us a decent chance, but maybe we want to boost it higher? Now, a quick thing to note is my friends can help me and boost any of the action that I'm doing. And they can play their own cards basically the same way that I just did with my card. And if they're within range 1 of me, which both these people are, because remember range can be diagonal, then I get the full effect of the boost. But if they were further away, that aiding becomes weaker and weaker. It's -1 for each space they are away from me. Now in this case, they all have cards that they want to keep, but I think I will use a stealth. Instead of hiding with Niffle, I'll use that to boost his attack by +1 more, because again, any card can be used for +1. So that gives me 6 total attack. The Rodica has 2 defense plus 3 more. Glad I added that extra 1. So I got 6, which is more than 5. So I deal 1 damage. Unless otherwise indicated, you always deal 1 damage. But the good thing is, except for horrific things like the Chilene, most things die in 1 hit. So that Rodica is defeated. When you defeat a monster, they go to the dead pile back here, which in most missions just means they're out of the game, but there are some effects that can bring them back in certain missions. Now, if you'll recall, the aimed shot ability said that he got to make a move after he does the attack. This is not a move where I spend points. I just get a free move anywhere I want to go without spending any points whatsoever. So I get to go kind of out of my other hero's way and give them some room to do their thing. So next I could activate either Elisa or Tyra. Elisa's got a nice straight shot to attack one of these guys, whereas Tyra maybe could run over and get that cultist. She is very good at charging into combat, so I like the idea of that. Let's have her activate next. So just a reminder, she's got 5 points to play with, and she has range 1 to 2. That should be significant in a second. So with her 5, she'll go 1 into defense and 2 into charge. It leaves her with 3 left. She gets to move with those 3 and then resolve an attack. So 1, 2 to go into the little 2 circle spot there. 3. Now she's not adjacent, but luckily her melee attack has a little bit more range. She is at 2 range, because again, diagonal counts. And you trace line of sight from center to center, which would just skirt around this little wall here, so she can attack this guy. Now, cultists only have 1 defense. And Tyra already has a base 4 of attack, so she's probably fine not playing any cards at all. Quick note about her, by the way, she cannot be aided by anybody else unless she plays this card called Call for Help, which lets her be aided until she gets this little fatigue token or gets hurt. But I don't think we need that here. I'm pretty confident she'll be able to destroy this guy. Let's see. And, oh, gosh. Well, I mean, I guess the good thing is I'm getting rid of some high values that might activate the enemy more. But yeah, so her attack of 4, his defense of 1 plus 3, they're equal, and equal's not good enough. You gotta beat him. So that cultist lives another day. All right, that leaves Elisa ready to attack, hopefully, but I realize I might not have left myself any way to get around to there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I can skip this whole thing because Bash is not available to her as a range character. 4, 5 would get me to special, which would let her teleport, but 1 more would get me to attack. So maybe I can use one of my cards to make that happen. But actually, here we go. Minor Illusion. I draw a response card. If it has a red symbol, I gain a fatigue in my turn ends. That's terrible because fatigue is a -1 action point every turn until the mission is done. But if I don't draw a red card, I get +3 action points. I mean, I get to draw a replacement card regardless, so I won't lose a card in my hand, basically. So let's try that. Hope for some better luck. Yes, okay, no red symbol. So we ignore the +1, but it does mean that she now has 8 action points instead of just 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's got 2 left. And that's significant because the little circle around the combat means that you can spend 2 action points to boost the thing by 1. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. So she's going to have +1 attack automatically from that. She also gets to draw a card. So that's 2 cards she's drawing. Let's see what she gets. Grand Theater. Ooh, she can put a decoy down and basically have the enemies try to attack that. And then, yeah, she can do a fireball to do area of effect. So if a bunch of these little insects spawn, maybe she can kill them all. Now note that her base attack is 0. Not so good. She gets +1 from her remaining 2 action points. She can play Elvish Dagger. This is a nice one. It's 3, and if she hurts the guy, she gets it back. So that's 4 versus the guy's defense of 2. But again, we really want to boost to at least 5 if we can help it. So here I guess I'll do Smiting Fist. Kind of overkill, but that's going to get me to 5, and then I also get a response card, so I might go even higher. Oh, yes, okay, so I get +3. I do have to shuffle the deck before I draw the defense for the enemy, but that takes me all the way up to 8 attack against their defense of 2, so they should be dead no matter what I draw. And we get +2. Definitely not enough to save that little Rodica. So he can join his friend in the dead area, and we've almost cleared a path to this victim. Again, now we want to run in, grab him, and run back out. Seems like Elisa with her teleporting or Niffle with his action points is the perfect one to do that. Even though I would love to get Niffle to that treasure chest, but hey, I could get that treasure chest instead if I ever kill this monster over here. All right, now let's see how much the enemies activate. Okay, just a 2. That's average, so not too bad. That means they're going to attack and then spawn. Now, the first part of that attack is very nice for me because this guy has 1 range, 1 range, 1 range. Only he has 2 range, but yeah, nobody's close enough. Now the spawn part gives me a bit of a choice though, so I dizzy circle spawn, and I get to pick 2 of any of these guys, because remember after I discarded my shard I had 2 spawn value left with the threat. So I can mix and match these however I want, but I want to get people that aren't going to hurt me, aren't going to be a threat, or that I can kill easily. So I'm thinking either these acolytes I can just kind of put far away, and as long as they don't get to the exit it's not a big deal. Or these bone worms only move a single space, although if they get next to you they hit really hard. So yeah, the acolytes seem like the least of 2 evils, although do notice that now they don't exist in the spawn pool anymore, so next time I'll have to spawn something tougher. And cultists, as mentioned earlier, must be placed next to trapdoors if possible, so we'll have this guy here, and this guy here, and they only have range 1, and they just move towards, again, you can't see it, but right past the Chilene, they move toward this little, like, exit space to raise the alarm, so I'm not really worried about them. I'm just going to kind of ignore that treasure chest and get on with my life, I think. Now, I do want to note for next turn, I'm in a bit of danger because the enemies will most likely move at least 2. That tends to happen, and they'll move and then attack, so they can set up a much bigger, more dangerous situation than they've been able to so far. So let's see, my thought is if Elisa can blast this guy, Niffle can try to run right in, grab that prisoner, and get the heck out of dodge, and I guess Tyra can start working her way down here, ignore those cultists, and hopefully we can just gang up on and smash that guy really hard. I mean, what would be amazing is if I can set up a backstab and do 2 of its 3 life in a single hit. Man, that would be good. Now, the tough thing is going to be that Eliza just attacked, so she'd have to go, I guess, around a charge, because aim shot is going to be taken by Niffle until he gets out of there. So that would be 1, 2, 3. That'll leave her with 2 movement points left if she wants them. But here, I guess she doesn't, because she would block off Niffle's movement. Well, I guess not really. Going around that way or that way is going to be all the same to him, so sure, let's move her down a little bit closer to the exit, and yeah, then Niffle can sneak around the other side. Okay, she's going to attack. We clearly need to boost it if she's going to have a chance. So certainly want to save the Fireball. Let's try Ghostly Helper and the Elvish Dagger. Remember, this came back after my last attack because that did deal damage. So that'll be a 6 attack versus his defense of 2. Only with a draw of a 4 will this guy survive. So we'll discard Ghostly Helper, but hopefully keep Elvish Dagger for another attack. All right, what you got, you little bug? Ah, awesome. So he is destroyed. All right, so there we go, Niffle. The path is clear. And it is a free action to pick up the victim if you're within 1 range. So Niffle has to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get this guy. 6, 7, 8. I mean, yeah, I would love to get out of the way because this guy can move, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then attack 2. We do not want to be in range of that monster. So let's see, Niffle could just go a single 1, and that would leave him with 7 movement left. So that's certainly better than going all the way to around a sprint. I need to get a free card out of the mix, so let's do that. So he's got 7 action points left. And our new card, Agility. So it's a +1 bonus, and I'm going to draw a replacement card as well. Now, Eliza is close enough to boost, but again, her abilities are kind of specialized right now. So let's just move normally. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pick up this guy and put it on Niffle's character sheet. Ooh, I need 7, 8, 9. So I need 2 more action points to even get up there and get away from the Chilene. So I'll use the Thieves tool. That does +2 for movement or special. That does get me right here. And then, yeah, I guess it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we should be able to get back up there. But, man, the problem is that he's going to be way out of position to do anything to help us for a little while. Meanwhile, I guess Tyra might as well attack this cultist. Unless she wants to move down toward the Chilene, but I don't think she wants to do that yet until Niffle's ready again. So easy attack would be the Bash. I guess she could go all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She could just go all the way to attack and get an extra card. Bash will almost certainly kill the guy, though, because you get a free response card as a bonus. So do I want a card for other actions, or do I want to definitely kill the guy? I would like her to potentially do special. That's how she gets into a rage and starts just running and hitting all over the place. So yeah, I'll spend 2 to get to Bash. I'm going to get a free response card, and then I'll push the guy after I attack, I mean, if he's still alive, and I'll get a free follow-up, so it could be kind of extra nice movement for me. So she's got 4 attack already, plus 2 more. That'll be 6. Should be way more than enough for his 1 defense. And let's see. Oh, yes, it's a 0. I wish that had stayed in for their activation, but hey, at least I killed the guy. So another one bites the dust, but I do have to follow up and move forward toward the guy, even though I didn't keep him alive to push him. All right, let's see how the monsters activate. Another 2 again. I'm getting pretty lucky here. No huge numbers. So they are going to move and attack like we thought. But I think we'll be fairly safe. The cultists just move straight toward that little exit, like I said. Oh, sorry, actually, they should go after the smallest to largest bug. So the bone worm can go that way or that way. Let's go that way, I guess. And the Chilene wants to move 3, so 1, 2, 3. Kind of set her in the middle of my guys. That seems better. And now, oh, actually that blocks the cultist. So I guess that was not such a bad thing to move the bone worm. And again, as long as you like move toward the character you're supposed to be moving toward, you are free to make choices that get the monsters in each other's way, like we just did there. And then, oh my gosh, crud. Why did I think, the Chilene is totally within 2 range of Niffle. Why did I think that was going to get him out of range? Well, it didn't. This could be really bad. So Chilene has 4 base attack, does get to draw a card to attack me with, and oh my gosh, gets to do a double attack. This is terrible. Niffle's only got 2 defense to start, and if that first attack hits, it'll bring him down to 1, and then he'll be in a really bad way. The question is, with 4 attack, is it even worth it? I could play agility, get my defense up to 3, and then I'd get another card, and maybe that'll help me as well. I guess we'll try it. Okay, so agility for 1 defense, I get to draw another card. Deadly Blow cannot be used for defense, so that won't help. So right now my defense is just 3, unless I use one of these other cards. And I don't really need the pick lock. That would get me to 4. And then, I guess Elisa is close enough, but she would lose 1. This is bad, because do note that like his attack goes down, he'd have fewer action points if he took 2 damage, and every time you take damage, you put these injury cards on the top of your deck, and they stay in your deck forever until they're healed off, so he's the only one who wasn't hurt at all, jeez. Alright, you know what, whatever, we'll just take the attacks, I guess. So first attack, alright, would have been too much unless I played a lot more cards, and second attack is also going to hit, so yeah, that's 2 damage. With the injury cards, you get to see them, they go on top of your deck. So how these work is they fill up your hand and clog it up because, again, whenever like you rest, you draw back up to your starting hand size. And you can play them on an indicated action, but you have to have a total of at least 0. So you can kind of choose when you like use your broken nose to screw up your own action, but you got to do that. And now a brain injury. I discard 2 non-wound cards from your hand or add 1 wound card to your deck. But it's actually a +2. Well, that's interesting. Usually they're negative, so this would actually help me when I played it, but then I'd have this negative effect to go along with it. And those again go on top of Niffle's deck, so the next time he's drawn cards, those are the friendly ones that'll be waiting for him. And the ugly thing is, the monsters are going to move again probably next turn. So Niffle is slower now. Do I have him run back with the victim? I guess I need to. Or let's see, alternatively, I can drop the victim for free next to me, which would let Elisa get him, and she can just like teleport him out of there pretty easily. I do have a crazy Hail Mary kind of play. If I can get Tyra next to this guy, then Niffle could try to backstab him and could potentially kill him straight out if he uses Poison Arrow for +1 damage, and the backstab already does 2 damage, so that's kind of crazy. I don't know if that's really a good idea to use all my resources like that. Actually, I guess I don't even need the Poison Arrow. If I can just have her run in and do 1 damage, then he could backstab for the rest. But here's a problem. Tyra, let's see. Yeah, she's not raging, so she can't move. If she was in a rage from the special action, then a move would become a charge, a sprint would become a charge. But here she would either have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No way can she do that. Now, she could go into a rage by going to special, so that would just be 2. That would leave her with 3 left, but movement is halved for special, so she won't be able to move 1 space without using some extra things. I guess you could use your boots. That would get her to 7. So that'd be 1, 2. That would leave her with 5. So she could potentially move twice. Now, issue is every time you move out of a space that has an enemy in it, then you have to move with 1 extra point, which again with special would be doubled. So if that guy's there, I don't think she could possibly make it. So I could instead have Elisa try to run in and like do a fireball and hit all these guys, but she charged last turn, so she can't do a charge again. Darn. All right, so let's try to keep things a little bit simpler. Let's hope the enemies don't kill me. Attack is 3 spaces away for them, so it's a pretty low chance they'll really get anything going this next turn. So maybe Tyra will go into a rage, try to kill this guy to get him out of her way. Niffle can drop off the guy, and Eliza can try to run him back. And then Niffle and Tyra can try to both kind of get towards the Chilene and set him up for the big kill next turn. All right, so let's go ahead and do the special with Tyra. So that'll leave her with 3 points left, so she can move once with the halved movement. It does mean that she's raging now, which means that when she moves or sprints, it's treated like a charge as well. She gets an extra attack, and that happens as well here. She can immediately attack with that. But it does mean if she does not attack on a turn, she goes out of the rage and becomes fatigued. He gets -1 action point for the rest of the mission. So she wants to keep on killing and killing if she can. So she's got the single movement. She'll go here, and she'll attack this cultist that she's in range of. She's got a 4 attack, so... unless he draws a 3, she's going to kill him anyway. Yeah, I don't want to waste any other stuff this turn, so let's see. Awesome, he is dead. Alright, so she's cleared some stuff out of her way, although I guess these guys might get in her path in a second too. We'll see how it goes. And as for Niffle, he could go ahead and do an attack on the Chilene, or he could sprint down here and try to, like, start getting close to the exit. I guess let's do the attack. It'll get him a free card draw, and he doesn't have to spend anything else. Maybe you can just save that card for next turn and the backstab attack. Okay, so that is 1. Oh, actually, no, it's just a single 1 for him, which means he does have 4 action points left. So that's +2, so he's at 3 base attack. The Chilene, for all its size, only has 2 defense. He's already beating it by 1, so maybe he can get a damage on him this turn. Let's see what our card draw is first. Oh, right, of course. Alright, so what happens? Either discard 2 non-wound cards from your hand or add 1 wound card to your deck. So, I mean, I want all of these. I'm not going to play that right now. Deadly Blow, though, that would get him up to 4 attack versus 2, and then I get a response card, which would, on average, be 2 more. So let's try that. So he's at 4 attack. Come on, big number. Oh my gosh, yes! So that is 8 attack versus 2 defense. So the Chilene's defense is 2, not enough. So that's 1 out of 3 damage. So yeah, definitely send him up for an easier kill. Oh, and lest I forget, let's put the victim down there so Elisa can do her job and get him out of here. Speaking of, she'll do just that. So 1, 2, 3. That leaves her with 2 movement left, plus a card draw. And, oh, I forgot that she had a wound in her. So there's an infested wound. It's just -1, not too big of a deal. But the big thing is that if she ever has 2 of them in her hand at the same time, she only has 1 in her deck right now. But then, like, a alien-style thing comes bursting out of her chest, and she is dead. She could do her teleport, but that seems a little bit like a waste. So you know what? She has 2 movement, which isn't going to matter too much anyway. So let's go ahead and make it 1 movement and just get this thing out of my hand now so I don't have to worry about it. So just get her here, and of course she'll pick this up first, but that means she should be able to move here, and then she can just teleport, boom, like right back into the action when she does that. All right, now very important we don't draw a 3 or a 4 here, because then the Chilene will be able to attack me again, and that would be devastating. Oh my gosh! Okay, good chance there's going to be a death in a moment. So we're going to have a move, then some spawning new guys, which could be bad, then an attack, and then another move. Give me a break. So we do the move first. So let's see, the Bone Worm goes 1, and then we go to Big Bugs. Now, unfortunately, the Chilene does have to go to the closest hero, and then ties are broken by the weakest, one with the least health. So she's going after this guy regardless. Oh man, I'm thinking, I wish that I had been able to play the little Grand Theater thing. That would have let her put the decoy down, and then the Chilene would have gone after him. But Tyra was already on the special space, so darn. All right, and then the Acolyte just keeps running towards the exit. Next we do a square spawn. For now, let's do the same thing we did before, just put some Acolytes up out of the action. There you go, friends. Keep raising that alarm. Okay, now we're moving to attack, which means I think Niffle will die. And he's got 1 defense. I mean, there's no way. Because even if I somehow magically manage to block one of the attacks, which I can't, then I would still be killed by the other one. All right, so Niffle is dead. You do have the option when this happens in the campaign to replay the mission, basically how it was before you started, or you can just let the guy be dead. There are items that resurrect them, but the thing is that you can continue the campaign and just put in other characters. Each mission, you can kind of tailor your team based on what the mission seems to demand. So I guess I'll be okay. But yeah, Niffle is dead, and I forget if his item comes around, but let's just assume that he is completely out of it. Sorry, buddy. Oh my gosh, lest we forget, they are moving again. So that means our worm friend is here, and our giant friend is here, and look at these cultists just running off to tell their parents about us. Alright, so this has been a pretty bad crisis, because the next activation spot is another attack action, and the Chilene has range on me like whoa. So, I mean, I guess I could just try to literally run Tyra away. I mean, yeah, a lot of running seems like the order of the day at this point. But the problem is if Tyra doesn't attack, she's going to get fatigued, which means she can't move as fast, and she's the slowest character we have in the mission anyway right now. So maybe we do the opposite of what they expect. Maybe we have, like, Elisa run in and fireball this dude and try to blow up a bunch of people. And, yeah, then we try to kill the Chylene and don't worry about the victim yet. All right, Silly, how ridiculous would it actually be? So she's on move, she can skip over special, so she could just do an attack, but she's not in range yet. So I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. She'd only have 1 activation left to start. Oh, but I got the teleportation I was going to use to get the victim out, but hey, desperate times, so yeah, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. She has a single move, but she can teleport up to 4 squares, even diagonally, just going through stuff as part of that move. Let's see, if she wants to do a fireball, if she could get, like, here, I guess, she can throw it at this guy. Oh, no, I think that blocks line of sight, so I guess she wouldn't go, like, here. And then she could throw the fireball at this guy. She might hurt Tyra, but she would potentially kill both these cultists and do a damage to Chylene, and then Tyra can come in and finish him off. All right, so let's say she teleports. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's her 1 movement. She's got her clear point of view, line of sight to that guy. So she's going to cast a fireball. So it becomes an area attack. That means that it will hit everyone within 1 range, and it's a +3 attack, so that gives her 3 so far. So she'll, of course, use the Elven Dagger. That gets her to 6. And let's see, that's 1 defense, 1 defense, 1 defense, and 2 defense. That should be enough for all of them. So, yeah, let's go for it. And let's see, I guess the Elvish Dagger says if your attack deals damage, return the card to your hand. I guess that means if it deals damage to any of them. So I can't really imagine she's going to lose that. Now, Tyra has 3 defense and does not get to draw a card automatically. So let's have her play the Headbutt, which will give her +3, so she won't get hurt. And then she can draw a replacement card. Nice. Which, no, in this case is her damage card, a -2 to an attack because she's missing one of her fingers. Darn it. Okay, so let's draw for these guys. Give us a 6 attack, 2 defense, and all the rest have 1. Let's go with the 2 defense first. Fine, he is damaged. Means 1 more and he's dead. Okay, now against the worm, dead. Against the first cultist, dead. Against the bottom cultist, dead. So, boom! Take all of that. And Tyra's not hurt with her card, making her defense tied. Alright, Tyra wants revenge for her friend. Let's smash this guy. So clearly, I don't even need to move. Let's just crush him. He came right into range of me. So that's only 1. She's still got 4 activation points left, so that'll be +2 to her attack. She gets a free card draw. Does not have a damage this time. Bloodlust. After this attack, make another attack against a different enemy. Then they get to attack you back. That's not going to apply. There's only 1 in range. What I will do is call for help, which means other players can aid me, and I get to draw another card to help this attack. So other players can aid me until I get a fatigue token, which again will happen if I stop raging or until I take a damage. No, come on. All right, there's my other wound card. I was hoping I would get something to boost my attack. But hey, no worries. She has 4 attack, +2 from her leftover action point, so let's just go for it. Yeah, there we go. Take that, you big bastard. All right, so here we go. Mike describes a game as not combat heavy and then proceeds to kill every single person on the board, except for this one guy running for his mom. Speaking of running, I guess I'll be the one running pretty soon, probably. 2 activation, a more normal one. So attack, that's not going to happen. There's only the 1 cultist, but then we are going to spawn some more circle. Okay, so our options are slow as molasses bone worms, super fast roticas, or yeah, right. Let's spawn some bone worms over here way the heck out of the way. They should not hopefully affect the rest of the mission. All right, so if the rest of the mission is just for me to run over here and kill this nest, that seems totally doable. It does mean that Elisa is not going to save the captive, and that will put a permanent bad card in the deck. But she doesn't have her teleport anymore. I just don't know if she can get there and back fast enough. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then back, and then over here. I mean, I guess she could use this. She could, like, move this turn and then use the special action next turn and teleport. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just go out and take the hit. I think we have to. We lost a guy. I mean, there's not much we can do here. So, yeah, let's try to have Tyra hopefully defeat this guy. Treasure. I don't know if we have time for treasure. Let's just blow up this nest, make our own lives more dangerous, and get out of here. Alright, so don't forget, Tyra gets a free attack after any movement action while she's raging, so she's going to sprint, man, and get a lot of movement. That was only 1. She's got 4 action points left, plus 1 more, that's 5. Oh, but oh no, she's not going to make it, because you can't see it. There's no line of sight over these squares, so I guess she's just going to run for the nest. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now she is indeed fatigued. She'll get only 4 action points for the rest of the mission because she has fallen out of her rage. And then Elisa will just move along. It's pretty low on cards. I mean, she could just rest, but now let's go 1, 2, 3 and get a little bit of movement and a free card. So the card is focused, just a +2, nothing wrong with that. And she'll go down here with her 2 movement. All right, come on now. We've got to get out of dodge. 3 activations, so that will do move, then attack, then move. Oh no, this guy's going to raise the alarm. No! But these guys just do very little. All right, is there any way to catch this guy? I mean, if Elisa teleported up here, she still wouldn't be able to shoot him. Tyra definitely has pretty much no chance. I mean, if Elisa could move over here with a sprint, and if I get lucky and he doesn't move, she could shoot him before he gets away. Well, in any case, let's move Tyra and have her try to attack the nest before we do anything else. Guess we'll do a charge, and that means she'll have 2 action points left now that she's fatigued. It's 1. Oh, no. She needs 1 more. All right, so we'll discard Bloodlust just for the +1 that you can use any card for to get her the rest of the way to actually attack. But this thing has 2 defense and 3 life, so it's not going to go down easy. So I'm going to do something kind of goofy, because I think she's going to rest in a second. I'm going to lower my attack to 1, but then I'm going to do an adrenaline boost. I get another fatigue token, but I get +13 attack, so I can't miss. But it is removed from my deck for the rest of the scenario. So we'll be down to 3 action points every turn, but I'm definitely going to do an attack and also get rid of that. And that'll free up some space for me to draw with the rest action next turn. All right, so there we go. You can take a damage. All right, and then Lisa will pay 1 to teleport. So she's got 4 action points left, which means she can move twice after she teleports. So let's see. If I teleported, I guess like 1, 2. No, because I can't see over that. If I went like 1, 2, and then moved twice, I would be in range of him there. Well, you know, while I'm teleporting, why don't I just use focus? That'll give me a +2 to the action to teleport. So let me teleport 4. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can go 1, 2 and be much closer to the nest, and also, again, have a chance to kill this guy if he doesn't move, which we'll see if he does based on how the draw goes. And speaking of that draw, if it's a 2, we're okay. If it's a 3, we are in trouble. Okay. So they'll spawn square and then attack, although nobody should be able to. Okay, so square is down to some very scary people and some basic guards. We'll just put them as far away as we can. They do have range attack and they move fairly quickly, but hopefully we'll be out of the way. Let's see. That's not a good trapdoor. So we'll put them up here in our favorite spot again. They do have a 3 range for their attack, but this wall is blocking their line of sight to Tyra, so safe for the moment. So Tyra's going to rest. I guess I'll still do that. But first let's have Elisa attack this guy. She's going to get +2 from her leftover action points and a free card. Gray Touch, +1 and draw a card. That sounds good to me. So she's got 2 attack. Let's add 3 more from Elvish Dagger. That card has been amazing. So that's 5. MacLeod has 1 defense, +0. There we go. I keep the dagger and he's dead. So phew, that was close. Stopped him just in the nick of time. And then Tyra has like no cards to boost anything right now, so she's definitely going to rest. So she gets to draw back up to her max hand size, although unfortunately the Severed Artery just hangs out. She has not been able to get rid of that yet, so she's only going to draw 3 useful cards. And they are Herbal Remedy to heal, cool, Bloodlust, and Bug Swat. Okay, that's good. That's going to be a +4 attack to the nest. That should help to destroy it. But first, let's see what the enemies do, because there is a very real chance they will attack me here. Oh no, +3. So they're going to move, attack, and then spawn more? No. So the bug movement is easy, but here's where it gets bad. So now he can see her. He can't, so that's going to be attack right there. Their attack stat is 2. Her defense is 3 currently. And also when he attacks you, he puts a fatigue token on you, which luckily won't affect her because you can't go down to less than 3 no matter how much fatigue you have. Actually, her attack will go up. I guess she can just tank the hit and hope he draws poorly. So he's got 2, she's got 3. I mean, I guess I could do something. Yeah, let's discard the Bloodlust and make it a 4. Make his chances lower. Oh, I didn't need to. Okay, so he did not hit us. Okay, but then we still need to spawn a circle. So yeah, let's put these super fast Rodicas down and hope they don't have time to reach us and destroy us. Okay, so we need to get the heck out as soon as possible. So let's see, I guess she needs to charge. Ooh, you know, I think you can push nests. I mean, they're just counted as another unit, I believe. So if she does a bash, she would smash him into the wall, which does an automatic damage. That would finish him off. So heck yes. Okay, so that's she's got 4 attack. Plus she's going to draw a card. So that gives her 7 attack. Oh my gosh, he's only got 2 defense. So yeah, that's it. 3 isn't enough. So he is smashed into the wall. 3 damage. You're dead. Of course, that does mean if we ever spawn again, haha, it's a 3 instead of a 2. Oh no. Now, the very negative thing is that, yeah, we've got some friends right here to attack us. At least that one. I don't think that one can reach us as well. Oh, but I've got an idea for Elisa. Can I make it happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to use the Gray Touch to get +1. That gives me 6 movement. I get to draw another card. Torrent of Fire. I don't care. I'm going to spend it. So that's 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why do I want to get the special? Let me show you. I'm going to use Elvish Dagger to be able to teleport 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use Grand Theater to place a decoy token in my line of sight. So I can put it like right here, and it's going to be the closest to them, and it's also going to be the weakest here. So they're going to move heaven and earth to try to move over to that thing and attack it, which is cool. Although, you know what? I think they'll still attack her if they can't reach her. So this whole idea is crazy, I guess. Let's just teleport out of here. Hopefully Tyra will survive, and then she can move out on her next turn. Ooh, but we did kill the victim by leaving. So we draw a random victim card. Oh man, another +4. So that's added to the response deck. And the thing is, if it would ever benefit us, it counts as a 0. It's only a +4 for the enemy. So, yay. Or, you know, it would be a thing of beauty if they only got a 1 or a 0. Oh my gosh. Okay, awesome. So Tyra does not have to get destroyed in any nasty way. So we'd have to spawn for circle. And yeah, sure. I think it's fun to put some monstrous things at the last moment on the board. So boom, boom. There they are, my good friends. But all Tyra has to do is get out of here. Now, it did cost her 1 to go there. Oh crap, what if she can't get out? That'd be terrible. So she has 2 action points left with her fatigue. She gets to draw a card. No, come on. So she's got 2 cards. That would raise her movement up from 2 to 4. Man, I hope that's enough. Okay, 1, 2, +1 for leaving a space next to a guy. So that's 3, 4. Yes, because man, some bad things might have happened if she had stayed around. So there you go. That was a scenario kind of in the middle or so of a campaign of Perdition's Mouth. It didn't go so well for me. I did lose an entire character. I got new wounds on other characters, and my threat level is higher. Oh, and I destroyed a nest. So bad things all around, but that's just how the game goes. The campaign gets tougher and tougher, and it's just really a matter of survival. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out my review if you want to hear my thoughts, and we'll see you at the next stop.